what happened?
Well, I thought I had organised everything and I had all the resources set up for this lesson. It was the start of a creative writing module. Quite excited about it because we were going to be dealing with urban myth, so I thought they would really be captivated by that topic. And in fact, the first 10 minutes went really, really well.
Oh.
But as tends to happen with this class, is that when it comes to the whole class discussion element, that there are always 2 or 3 key characters who tend to sort of sabotage the rest of the lesson. And so the techniques that I tend to use in terms of, I try to use sort of the basketball technique, so somebody building on somebody else's idea, sort of breaks down because you always have one person who keeps coming in, keeps interrupting, and it seems to be the same character. I always think they're going to respond in a better way than they do. And then I get really annoyed with myself because I don't think I've planned properly for that group, and I don't think I've reacted in the moment in the right way that I should have done. So it's a frustrating group. I get frustrated myself, and I know that some of the pupils in that class get frustrated too.
Okay, so you've described what worked,
yes,
what went well, and you've also identified what didn't work well in
yes,
the sense of it didn't go according to plan, and you feel frustrated because it didn't meet your expectations or your hopes.
Yes.
So what do you want to focus on?
But I think with this group, what tends to happen is because there is behaviour there that sort of starts to raise its head once I'm wanting them to be more independent, that's when things break down. So it's always that second section of the lesson, which I think what I need to do is to build some more scaffolding in there so that those particular individuals who can't really cope with that type of level of maturity that I want them to have, I'm actually scaffolding it a little bit more for them. Because I think I'm jumping too much. I'm thinking I'm making a presumption that they're able to handle this open sort of discussion, whereas in fact they can't.
Okay. So that's scaffolding.
Yes.
Have you got ideas for that?
Well, the scaffolding I've used in the past is in terms of different ideas, in terms of pairings and groupings. The only problem I've got with that group is that we really don't like each other very much at all. So it's always quite a tricky situation where you're actually having to think, how am I going to position people? And I think I do need to think more. I think I need to be a bit more savvy with my setting or my grouping, not so much my setting there, and try and get them out of their comfort zones where they are at the moment and actually create more learning buddies. And I think I need to be putting a few more things in place to support their learning. Because as I say, I think that what they tend to do is they want to take over. You know, they don't have the boundaries. They're not very good at sort of listening to each other, and I think I need to do more in terms of putting some more talk strategies in place. Okay. And that tends to happen sort of in the second part of the lesson. Mm-hmm. The first part tends to be absolutely fine in terms of right, this is going well. I've got the hook.
So you're happy with the first part of the lesson?
Yes.
You've observed a pattern almost that in the second part of the lesson you're now identifying possibilities for more scaffolding and you're getting ideas for scaffolding.
Yes.
Do you need any other input or to talk with other colleagues or get ideas from other people, or is that pretty much you just need to reflect on how to tackle that?
I think I just need to reflect on that. I think what can happen is that I'm moving from classroom to classroom quite a lot of the time, and so in terms of organisation, I think I need to, when I'm teaching that class in particular, just be a little bit more circumspect in terms of the seating. And even though it's a classroom where I have to travel quite a distance to, I need to be thinking about getting there sooner, setting things up sooner, thinking about that seating plan. So I think it's me in terms of practice. I know what would work.
Yeah.
I do know what would work, and what I tend to do is I always kick myself afterwards because I'm thinking I did it again.
So your professional development side of things is the structure, the strategy, the seating, preempting and taking what you've learned, what you know, what's all there, the solutions, and getting ahead of that and applying that.
Yes.
And then the personal development is around not taking it personally.
Yes.
If it doesn't
exactly.
Work.
And also, yes, it's not taking it personally and not thinking, I know these are characters that can be difficult in other contexts as well. So it's about, looking at the opening which went well and all those positives and why was it they were so engaged, what did I do well then?
Yes.
what was happening then. And I think in some cases it's making sure that things like questions are planned. So that, you know, okay, with these guys, I'm trying to be a little bit more sort of fluid, but because they sabotage occasionally, I can't be as fluid. So I need to know how to deal with that. But also, I know I can deal with it, but also to perhaps have a few more key strategies planned at that stage, rather than thinking, actually, this is all going to be okay, because this normally works. And it's always about the children in front of you adapting to that particular circumstance and that child.
So wrapping that up, just talk me through what your next steps are.
I think I've got them next Tuesday, and hopefully they're coming with a piece of writing they put together. So what I want to do is to try and be as positive as possible, so very much a positive start to the lesson in terms of sharing their own work, but also being able to think about using that work, how I'm going to plan a sequence of questions that's going to, you know, that they will make them feel that they can develop their writing even further. So I think it goes back to the planning stage, get those questions identified, making sure the outcome is very clear for me for those pupils. So I need to have that clear in my mind. And also I think with the individuals that particularly I'm concerned with, I need to think hard about where I'm going to put them and who I'm going to get them working with. And I think it's also just using for more, maybe introducing this idea of learning buddies. And even though there might be some resistance at first, I might have to just deal with that and just say, this is what's going to happen for this module. So there are a number of things, I think.